It's now time for...
Woo,
Woo, woo, woo. It's time for Brooke's Buzz.
buzz. All right. I actually have a lot today, so let me just jump right in. So, first up, coming out of Bachelor Nation, we have Serena and Joe are married.
That was a nice wedding. I saw the pictures.
They are a fan favorite of mine.
What?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
You didn't know?
I didn't know. I didn't think you liked Grocery Store Joe, but okay.
What?
Okay.
I love Grocery Store Joe. I didn't like Kendall. So, therefore,
You're right.
I did not like when him and Kendall were together.
Okay, fair
Good
enough.
riddance to her.
Fair enough.
But once him and Serena got together and their love felt so real to me.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm just so happy for them.
Okay.
Yeah. So, they're married. Yes, it was beautiful. Everything was great from what we saw, right?
Right. It was great. We did talk about this. It was a little less expensive, apparently, than Dylan and Hannah's Parisian wedding. No, I don't care.
I didn't even bring them up because they're married too, but I didn't even bring them up because I'm just like hair flipped to them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But they did also get married and had a very expensive Parisian wedding.
Right.
And we saw, a TikTok? Or no, that was Reddit.
There was tons of... It was coverage on everything. It was on all the websites.
It was almost $1 million wedding. It probably was $1 million wedding.
We don't know.
Well, whatever. I mean, congrats.
Yeah.
But Serena and Joe, may your love last forever. All right. We're going to go to Kardashian news now. Oh, I'm sorry. Kardashian-Jenner news now. Kylie and Timothy Chalamet were kissing at the Beyonce concert in LA.
Yeah.
I was still a skeptic. I was like, y'all, they are not together. This is no. But, I mean, how can you deny it after you see the photos?
Right.
I mean, there's some sort of situationship going on.
Well, if you believe the conspiracy theorists, Timothy is still under contract with Chris, who's orchestrated this whole... I don't. I'm just,
Oh, my gosh. What? Because they're trying to, get her image back?
Yeah, trying to distance herself from,
Travis Scott and his... Okay. Well, I mean, hey, I wouldn't put it past Chris, and I actually wouldn't put it past Kylie either. So, maybe that's the case. But regardless... They're kissing in public.
Yeah, but, whatever it is, it was the Beyonce show, so you got to give them, when you're at the Beyonce show, that's very romantic. The LA show looks really cool.
Yeah, dude.
A lot of stars were there.
Who else was at that show?
Who?
Julie Chen Moonves.
Julie Chen.
Okay? Give me one more reason to like her.
Yeah,
she was at the Beyonce con. In her silver, as requested by B herself.
Yeah, that was good. It was good.
Yes. Okay. Also, Kourtney Kardashian. This is a little more serious. She had an issue that required fetal surgery. So basically surgery for her baby inside of her. And that is very scary. Yeah. And very rare. I don't think that happens a lot.
Yeah, we don't know. Do you know, really, has she given details outside of needing fetal surgery? What had happened?
Not really, no. But she said it saved her baby's life.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's probably too soon for her to have the baby, and so they needed to do this instead of the baby being born. So, yeah, I hope that I hope her pregnancy continues to progress and the baby is healthy and comes out.
What a blessing that was
strong.
It was really good. They were able to the doctors were able to solve whatever the issue was. I saw Travis, is that her guy's name? When he posted just a picture of the prayer room, and it was kind of like they didn't really no one knew what was going on at that point.
Yeah,
right?
So basically he was on tour, and they put out a statement and was like he has to go home for a urgent family matter. So everybody assumed it was because of Kourtney and the baby, and then turns out it was. Right. So we'll see. Hopefully everything continues to go in the right direction with that. Yeah. All right. We gotta move to TLC, and I have so much to say. I'm gonna try to not go overboard.
Let it rip. We don't have a second show
deal
on the podcast today. It's just Big Brother, so you got time.
Okay. So here's the deal. I decided to go back. Okay, so now that all of TLC shows are on Max, I have decided to go back and rewatch them because I get really overwhelmed with the 2-hour episodes on the cable. So now I can just watch them and they're an hour and 30, no commercials. Right. The whole season's there. It's just a better way to watch 90 Day Fiancé.
Right.
So I have gone back and I caught up. I've watched the most recent season of OG 90 Day Fiancé. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's like a million branches now. Right. But I watched the OG 90 Day Fiancé most recent season.
Right. Now, when you say OG 90 Day Fiancé, do you mean the original 90 Day Fiancé, or is there a version of the show called OG 90 Day Fiancé?
I mean the original version.
Because there's Teen Mom OG, is that
okay, no, we're not talking about that. There's not one actually called OG, but it is the original show, 90 Day Fiancé.
Okay.
And when I say that, I'll explain. It's like someone is coming to the United States on a K-9 visa, meaning they are coming here and they have
K-1 visa.
Oh, K-1?
Yeah, K-9 visa. I think
K-9's for a dog.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. A K-1 visa,
right? Where
they are coming here and they have 90 days to get married to stay in the country legally, right? So that's the setup, right? Yeah. Okay, so most recent season. Where do I even begin? Okay, we have several couples. Most notably, we have Jabri and Miona. Jabri is from South Dakota, but he's like alternative. Like he's like not like South Dakota is not him. That's what he said.
No, you're right. I know.
And Miona is from Serbia. Okay. Right? Well, Jabri also had this friend who was Serbian, and that's how he even got to Serbia to begin with. Mm-hmm. And so they toured, and I'm kind of laughing because it wasn't like, they were like the Beatles, but there's some similarities.
Their band was about as had much notoriety as our podcast does.
I mean, if you want to put it that way. But they traveled to Serbia, and that's where he met his now wife, Miona, right? So, she comes over here. Supposedly, the band didn't like her, and so they, ended up breaking up.
She Yoko Ono of the band, right?
Right. Yeah. So, so Jabri and Miona. Okay. I thought, there were a couple things during the season that I was kind of just like, I liked them. I liked Jabri. I liked Miona. Miona was coming over here. She did seem to be...
She was blackfishing.
Oh, yeah. That is true.
Okay, but what else?
But she did seem to be a little bit wanting this I think what people envision as the American lifestyle, wanting to live in LA and be seen and be with the people and, maybe have an Instagram career, be an influencer.
Right. Post on Instagram.
And so, that she wasn't getting that in South Dakota, obviously.
Right.
So she was her big thing was I want to move to LA. And his thing was we don't have money. My band's not together. I'm not making money. We need to stay here. And so I kind of was oh, he's level-headed, He's okay. Whatever. Well, towards the end of the season, when it comes time for them to get married, the 90 days is running up. They go have this wedding in Joshua Tree. none of his parents don't come. Her family doesn't come. Right. They're like, oh, we'll do something big later. But his parents actually didn't come because they weren't like fully supportive. Right. And they were like, we can't really travel to Joshua Tree. That's very far from South Dakota. I looked it up. I think it was like 19 hours. Yeah. So it's like, you have to fly and it takes money and blah, blah, blah. Right. So, okay. So they get married in Joshua Tree. It's basically him, her, one friend, and his grandma who did the ceremony. Mm-hmm. Well, on the reunion, for some unknown reason, I don't know.
The reunion episode of the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't explain it, but he came in so hot and hostile to every single person in there. And I don't know where it came from. Right, yeah. I was like, who is this guy? Yeah. He was like jumping all over. Okay, so basically the moderator said, why do you think no one came to your wedding? Which is pretty shady. Right. So I think that like set him off, and he was like, well, I think they're just all jealous of me, which is kind of just like, okay. And then one of the girls said, yeah, your mom did kind of seem jealous. And then he got so mad. Kind of, I think it was...
Even though he said they were jealous?
Yeah, but I think it was one of those things where it's like, well, I can call my mom jealous, but you can't call my mom jealous, exactly. Right? Exactly. So then he was like, you're the most jealous person in this room. And she was just kind of like, okay, why are you coming at me? Right. So then he just like proceeded to attack and attack and attack. Yeah. And then, oh my gosh, there's this other couple who, when the girl moved from Brazil, Thais, and forgive me, I can't remember the guy's name. Okay. But when Thais moved to America from Brazil, his brother was living with them, and she was like so put out by the brother. Right. Like she's like, he needs to get out of here. Mm-hmm. Which he was kind of brash. He was kind of confrontational.
It's like your typical Boston, Massachusetts, New England guy.
But I never saw him or thought of him as rude. Okay. And he drank a lot, and she had issues with that. He liked to party. Yeah. Okay. As soon as this brother comes out, Jabri, because they bring out guests on the reunion. Right. Jabri is like, "What's up, man? How many beers have you had today? Are you drunk right now?" Right. Before the guy even said a word. Right. And of course, this guy was like, "You're saying that to me? Like you're trying to fight me?" Right. So that escalated. But then everybody was kind of like, "Jabri, what's your beef?" Right. And so then he gets on this soapbox of like, he's bullying her, and that is not okay because I was bullied my whole life in South Dakota. Yeah. And I'm just like, when? Yeah. When did he bully her? He might have been bullied in South Dakota. I'm just saying, from what I saw on the show, it didn't look to me like John was bullying her. Yeah. Maybe he was confrontational. Maybe he was brash. He was worried about his brother because this girl came over here on a K-1 visa, 90 days to get married, did not tell her father she was getting married. Right. So he was worried about how that was going to make his brother look. I think that's valid. Right. I think that's a valid concern.
No, you're right.
I don't think he ever was, like, out of line with her. Okay. So that's my take on that. Okay. Now, and another thing, though, is that Jabri then proceeded to... Okay, so there's this other couple. They're Muslim. They're a Muslim couple. They're very devout, and I think they genuinely try to live their life in a very like moralistic way, I guess I'll say.
Adherence to Islam.
Yeah. And so this man, his name is Bilal. Bilal, before like Jabri had blown up, and they showed this little side of Bilal talking to Jabri and being like, bro, like, don't let people get the best of you. Like, it's going to be okay. Like, don't let them get to you.
Right.
Very sweet. And Jabri
said this.
No, Bilal said that to Jabri.
Yeah.
And Jabri was like kind about, because Jabri was like, thanks, man. Yeah.
Right.
And then, like, later in the show, Jabri proceeded to be like, yeah, y'all aren't gonna last, and y'all aren't gonna last. And one of those couples being Bilal and Shida.
Right.
And you're just kind of like, what? Where is that hostility coming from? Nobody asked your opinion. Nobody asked, who do y'all think here is gonna last or not last? Now, have they asked that on reunion shows before? Yeah. Sure.
Right.
But nobody asked that. Right. He was just coming in hot.
Yeah.
For really no reason.
Right. Okay. Well, I also caught the tail end of your binge watch of that. And here's what happened. Listeners, I'm going to break this down. If you've never watched 90 Day.
Okay, break it down for me.
And it'll be quick. 90 Day Fiancé is one of, I believe, it's 20,000 shows, 20 versions of the show. And there's 90 Day the other way, 90 Day UK, 90 Day Last Resort, 90 Day Recap, 90 Day Recap of the recap. And what I mean by that is if you're one of the couples on 90 Days, sometimes they have you sit at your house and recap the show that they just aired. Oh my gosh,
yeah, Pillow Talk,
90 Day Pillow Talk. So what Jabri was doing was just auditioning to continue to be a part of the 90 Day universe. You know, he didn't want his story and him and Miona to just drift off the scene. He wanted, I'm sure, to be one of these people that they call on time and time and again to get updates on their life or to come and react to the show. Like while you were watching the reunion, they literally had previous, previous.
Oh yeah, people from the franchise.
Yeah. In like literally just like, I guess off stage and backstage. They didn't even like.
Yeah, they were just like giving their commentary.
They just put them in chairs by craft services. And just said, hey, comment on what just happened. And then go run in the hallways and try to track down these people and kind of awkwardly talk to them. Right. So that's all I think Jabri was doing.
I mean, you're probably right.
And wanted to be a personality to continue to be on this show. Because he does, now I'm sure he's made more money on this show than he had doing his other ventures. So why not continue that?
True. But I also followed up and watched... Well, I tried to get into it, but I couldn't really get into it because there's another one called Happily Ever After.
90 Day Happy Ever
and
After.
These are the ones that, like, I guess people that they liked from the franchise that they then proceed to continue to show their life.
Right.
Miona and Jabri were not featured. So, yeah, Bilal and Shida were, though.
Yeah, but...
Yeah. Well, okay, another thing, too, is they were like, Jabri, when's the last time you saw your parents? Because, they were living with them. Mm-hmm. And he was like, when they kicked me out and we went to Joshua Tree, I haven't been back since. And we're just, like, living that nomad life. Which is code for, like, you're homeless.
Well, yeah, just moving around. I thought about that, too. Yeah. It might be hard for production to keep up with them if they've been down, but...
But I've looked at Miona's Instagram and they appear to be living in LA and she appears to be making a ton of money from her clip-on ponytails.
She had a lot of followers. Her business seems to be doing well.
Yeah. So, hey, maybe that's working out for them.
Yeah.
I will say this. There are 3 main franchises.
Uh-huh.
Well, 3 main branches. That's 90 Day Fiancé, Before the 90 Days,
mm-hmm.
and 90 Days the other way.
Right.
So they're going to live in the other country that's not the USA. Right now, premiering is 90 Day the Other Way and
The Last Resort.
Before the 90 Days.
And Last Resort.
But this is the first season of Last Resort.
Well, you said premiering, so that's what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
Premiering means like the startup, right?
Well, no. I meant premiering, like showing new episodes.
Okay.
But I guess if we want to say premiering first season,
right.
90 Day Resort.
Right.
So now I'm trying to get caught up and be on week to week
mm-hmm. with
90 Days the Other Way, Last Resort, and what's the other one I said? Before the 90 days.
So basically,
before the 90 days.
A full rundown of 90 days on Brooke's Buzz.
I mean, at this point, yeah, because it's just my thing right now, you know? It's just what I'm getting into. Now, I also have to talk about 90 Day Last Resort because just real quick, I'll just say real quick, Asuelo is...
Asuelo? Yeah.
Asuelo is really throwing me for a loop. Okay, he has disclosed cheating on Kehlani. He has talked about some traditions they have in Samoa, which have really just thrown me. And it just keeps you on your toes. And then Ed, I don't even know. All I have to say is Ed.
Well, let's back up. No, Kehlani also is, I mean, she has equal responsibility in the deterioration of their relationship, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, Asuelo cheated and then said, well, to make up for it, I'll give you a hall pass.
Right.
And she said, okay. He didn't think she would do it. She did it. Okay? Yeah. And she enjoyed it. So she says.
More so than that, she's having an affair.
Well, yeah. I mean, he had an affair, too.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
But if you want to say, like, an extended, longer term, sure. So, it's a big mess.
Yeah.
And we already know they're not together anymore.
Yeah, because it's recorded in the past.
Right.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's crazy. But Ed, I'm sorry, but his personality to me is, like, insufferable.
Right.
If I was there with Ed, I just know he would be getting under my skin.
Right.
I don't even know how to describe it. And I'm kind of just like, with this girl, what do you, I don't understand. But another one of the girls, Yara, this is going back to Happily Ever After in the tell-all, Yara said, what attracts you to him?
Right.
And she couldn't really answer. There was like, I mean, they had just gotten into a fight, but she said like, well, he helps with my kid. He's really good with my kid. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's important. Yeah. That's important. So, maybe it's not all bad, but from what I see,
Well, I think a part of it that people don't really say, but is valid, I think, when people date. From A-list celebrities all the way down to Z celebrities like these 90 Day Fiancé people. He's on TV as well. And now subsequently she's on TV.
Yeah.
Which is part of it. I mean, she knew who he was before she met him because she watched him on TV. Yeah. Half of these people that end up dating these people and you're like, what? And I'm not talking about the people who come on originally, but after they've been on the franchise and stick around to pick someone else.
True.
Who's not even in a, coming from another country situation. They're just in the franchise like Ed and his girl are.
True.
He's famous. And even if it's subconscious, I think that plays a part. You're
probably right. Okay. Last but not least, we have Sister Wives. Okay. The new season.
This is also on Max?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Let me just take a breather because Cody Brown. Cody.
He's the husband on Sister Wives.
I don't even know.
Or I guess he doesn't have, he just has one wife now.
Well, right? Now he only has one wife. But tell me why a man who has, 20 kids, I don't know how many he has, but several, more in the teens for sure, is driving around wherever Flagstaff, New Mexico, in a little convertible sports car.
Is Flagstaff in New Mexico?
Going from house to house. Like without a care in the world. Hair, his ramen noodle hair flapping in the wind.
Okay.
When he has 20 kids. I'm sorry, sir. You need to be in a minivan. You need to be in a 16-passenger van. And you need to be toting your kids around. And not just gallivanting in your little convertible. I don't know where this man's mind is. Yeah. It baffles me. Mm-hmm. He's a hard man to understand.
I don't think that even is that outlandish. I think tons of guys. Why is it different than a guy with 5 kids and 1 wife who buys a sports car when they're still raising kids? I hear what you're saying, but I don't think that's that outlandish. I don't think it's any more right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to stick up for him, but it's not like he's the only American male who, instead of, you know, hey, I'm going to go drive a van, a passenger van, elects to go get his dream car when he can afford it. Am I wrong?
I mean, I guess you're right. I don't know. Yeah. We're down to, I mean, we haven't, in the show, we still have Mary, Robin, and Christine holding on. But in the most recent episode, him and Christine went to total blows. Mm-hmm. And she basically was like
throwing hands or just verbally? You said the blows.
Well, he got up to leave and she did try to grab him, but he just still left. She's
just saying it got heated.
Verbally, yeah. And
I didn't even know the show was airing, but go ahead.
Yeah, and she was like, I told him to come get his stuff. Like,
this is the wife that he currently has?
No, I said there were 3 left at this point in the show. Mary, Robin, and Christine.
Wait, this is airing right now? Yeah. Or you're watching back?
Yeah, this is airing right now.
Okay.
Yeah. And Christine, they got into it. Mm-hmm. And she's like, told him to come get his stuff. And mind you, when this is happening, it's like at Christmas time.
Right.
So he's like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, I don't think we'll see each other for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I think we're just gonna see the ending of it all.
Wait.
What?
It can't be of it all. You mean of the marriages with those extra wives?
Yeah, you thought I meant like of the world.
You said it like, I think that's the ending of it all. I was like, okay, that's a little dramatic.
I just mean of the marriages. I'm sorry.
Which is, pretty catastrophic. Hey, listen. Well, he took on that. He took on a lot by doing that. So sometimes I don't even know what to say. But okay. Okay. So what else?
I think that's it.
Okay.
We can wrap it up.
That was Brooke's Buzz, but that was almost the TLC, the scoop right there.
TLC scoop.
We really went deep into the woods of Max. I guess we should just write David Zaslav for our checks. This is like exactly what he wanted when Discovery bought HBO.
Yeah.
And turned it into the reality TV Central.
Working out really well for him.
So now, yeah, good for them. Down with Zaslav is all I have to say. We wrapped up Brooke's Buzz, but we still got some other reality shows we're going to talk about before we head out of here. They announced Love is Blind season 5. I actually don't know when they announced it. But they released the cast.
And they're in Houston.
Right. If you don't know, we actually are from Houston, like I was saying. And so we're really excited about them filming all of these desperate, lonely 30-plus people who would sign up for this show.
Some shade.
You're right. I love Love is Blind, but I'm always a little wary of the people that sign up for this show. And if they're trying to find love, which I take that back. There's some great couples that are coming to the show.
Like where is this hostility coming from?
A lot of these couples that are on this show are desperate for fame or desperate for just...
I think on any reality TV dating show, right?
Honestly, you're right.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're right. Okay, so filming in Houston, we're going to be familiar with the landmarks, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll see us walking around in the background.
That's our dream. That's our fever dream. One day, we just happen to be where they are filming.
Like, oh, is this Are you guys? And they're from Houston, so a lot of these people are from Houston, the greater Houston area. So we were really hoping that we would know someone or like be friends of friends with someone who was cast on the show, but that's not the case. It's Houston, so we possibly know someone who knows, who might know,
right?
Who knows. But that's not really like knowing someone on the show. Like, oh, I've seen them before. Right. I went to school with them. I worked. It's not that. So unfortunately, we're not that close to the action.
Right.
But we are pumped. We do like Love is Blind a lot. We'll talk about it on the show. I don't know if it'll just be a quick thing we do because we'll just have to see how it fits in the schedule. There's so much going on with that show.
It probably won't be until after the pods.
No, we'll talk about it during the pods. You don't think so? But you're saying the time that we really talk.
I'm saying it probably won't be a lot of content to talk about until after the pods.
I don't know.
Okay, you're right.
We'll figure it out. But we're excited about that, and that's coming up. Just looking through, we got a diverse cast. It's just going to be exciting. We got a diverse cast. We don't really know much about them except their ages and occupations. So as soon as we find out more, we will address it. And is there anything other shows happen? I feel like we were talking about one more show, or we got news from something else. Did I forget?
Project Runway. We're up to final 3.
Yes, we are on the final 3.
We know who's going to Fashion Week.
Yeah, we got Brittany Lawrence and Bishme. Which I think, for more or less, were the best 3.
Yeah, in years past, they've let 4 go.
Right.
I wish they would have done that.
No, I don't. Project, he was one of the final 4.
No,
it was Rami.
Rami.
You're right. Oh, you're right. Rami was good. I would have liked to seen his, what he sent down the runway for 40 plus women who are getting married, but that would have been really cool.
Stop.
I like Rami.
I feel like Rami was just very humble and very, I don't know, gentle and peaceful.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah, he was really good. He was a really great guy. And you're right. He was, what's the word? Like, is there a word? Well, anyways, you said it. We've described him greatly a lot. I don't know if he'll be around on the franchise much more, but it was good to see him again. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all that we've got. I can't think of any, amongst all the reality TV we watch and talk about, I think we've covered everything we're going to cover this week.
Wait, I misspoke. It wasn't Christine who was having the fight with Cody. It was Janelle. Christine is gone. Christine is already out.
Okay.
It's Janelle, Mary, and Robin. And Janelle was having the fight with him.
If he's forgotten all his lives,
I had to correct that. I'm sorry. That is my bad.
Yeah, that's the kind of journalistic integrity you can expect from the People's Rose. We get a name wrong, we correct it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, we covered it all this week. If there's anything we missed, let us know. You can interact with us on social media, on whatever social media site you use, at ThePeoplesRose. You can listen to our podcast at ThePeoplesRose.com. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you listen to. We're there. If you like the podcast, we hope that you just rate and review us on whatever podcast app you use.
And tell all your friends.
You don't have to tell all your friends, but just the cool ones.
Okay.
Just the ones who are ready for the podcast.
Sure.
But no, we just appreciate you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.